Tonight, breaking news as a child is found unconscious in a car in Sydney's northwest. The manhunt for a killer who's left Sydney's west living in fear. Fight for life. Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher suffers a mid-air heart attack. From Parramatta to Pitt Street, chaos at shopping centres in the last-minute dash to Christmas. And could there be a Boxing Day debutante for Australia at the MCG?
This is 9 News with Ben Fordham.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. A Christmas Eve emergency is unfolding sadly in Sydney's northwest after a child was pulled unconscious from a car. Tim Davies joins me now. Tim, this is a heartbreaking situation and it is unfolding as we go to air tonight.
Indeed it is, Ben. Good evening to you. It was around 4:45 this afternoon that emergency services were called to Cameo Circuit at Glenwood, which is just near Quakers Hill. Now, it was a residential area. When paramedics arrived, they discovered a 3-year-old girl who was inside a car and was unconscious when they arrived. It's understood she had been locked inside that vehicle for several hours. There were some reports that this girl was last seen arriving home with her family after Christmas shopping earlier today. That was around midday, and the girl was last seen around 2 p.m. before she was then found in the car just after 4:30 this afternoon. Now, paramedics did what they could at the scene in front of her naturally distraught family and friends who watched on. She has now been taken to the Children's Hospital at Westmead, where we understand she is currently in a critical condition. It is indeed a tragic turn of events, especially on Christmas Eve. Ben.
Tim Davies joining us from the newsroom. More information later on in the Bulletin. Sydney's grim underworld has simmered to the surface in our western suburbs, where families enjoying an afternoon in a park have witnessed a suspected gangland murder. The killer remains on the run tonight after shooting a 20-year-old man dead and seriously wounding an 18-year-old at Wetherill Park.
2 young men, the latest victims in Sydney's bloody gang warfare. 20-year-old Antonio Hermes and 18-year-old Ronaldo Odisho are among a group of about 5 men in a car in the Western Sydney parklands yesterday afternoon. There's then been a confrontation with another group of men who arrive in a second car and open fire.
It's very, very concerning that this sort of thing has happened in relative broad daylight in a recreational area.
Hermes is killed, left in the car park with a gunshot wound to his head. Odisho was shot in the chest, but survived. This park is very popular with families. Police say up to 10 people were here at the time of the attack, including children.
We've got people that are at Christmas time enjoying themselves with their family in a parkland, and this sort of thing goes on. I think it's completely gutless.
You'd hate to think that, you know, a stray bullet would hit a young kid.
It's the 8th gangland murder in Sydney this year. In the past 4 months, we've seen one each month. The most recent was 6 weeks ago when underworld figure Pasquale Barbaro was gunned down at Earlwood. A month earlier, Hamad Assad was shot at Georges Hall. He was a suspect in the shooting death of Kingpin Wally Ahmed at Bankstown Central Shopping Centre in April. The park's still a very large crime scene today as police hunt for clues and those responsible for this latest deadly daytime attack. Elise Baker, 9 News.
A 4th man has faced court charged over an alleged Christmas Day terror plot targeting 3 iconic locations in the heart of Melbourne. But Victoria's police chief has been forced today to defend allegations his officers used heavy-handed tactics during the raids.
Supporters visited a 4th man in custody, Ibrahim Abbas. He too is alleged to have been plotting a Christmas Day massacre.
I got to go in to see Ibrahim.
The 22-year-old was sporting a black eye, flanked by 2 guards in the dock. As counter-terrorism police filed the Commonwealth charge against him, 1 count of planning a terrorist attack.
Sometimes clients get injuries during the arrest, so I've mentioned that in court.
The magistrate was also notified of the accused man's request for a Quran and prayer mat.
Were you able to speak with him?
Ibrahim, his brother Hamza Abbas, Abdullah Turani and possible ringleader Ahmed Mohammed are now all behind bars, alleged to have engaged in preparations or planning to detonate explosives in the heart of Melbourne, reportedly a suicide bomb. Victoria's top cop is confident they have all their suspects.
It is an ongoing investigation, but at this point we're not anticipating to make more arrests.
Zach Debussy was one of 3 other people arrested, questioned and released without charge following the widespread raids. His family says they were fully cooperative, but claim officers were heavy-handed.
They told us to get on the ground with hands behind our backs.
And my grandson, they pulled the trigger on him. He's 12 years of age. He got scared.
The Chief Commissioner stating their intelligence required all officers to be armed.
I'm not seeing anything that's alarmed me about the way the police acted, particularly given the risk that was being faced by our officers at the time.
Jade Vincent, 9 News.
Back to Sydney, and a grass fire has burned through 8 hectares of parkland in Wentworth Point. With no hydrant close by, crews struggled to get water to the remote area, forcing them to conduct a relay to fight the blaze. It took a dozen trucks and more than 30 firefighters 2 hours to bring it under control. An international manhunt for the suspect in the Berlin Christmas market attack has come to a head, with Italian police shooting him dead in a dramatic standoff. The Tunisian national was killed after he was pulled over in Milan and shot at police.
What started in Berlin ended 1,000 kilometres away in Milan, with Anis Amri lying dead after 4 days on the run. He'd opened fire on police after being stopped for a routine identity check in the early hours of the morning outside a suburban train station. One officer was shot in the shoulder. His colleague, who'd been in the force less than a year, returned fire, shooting Amri in the chest. He died at the scene. Officials say his fingerprints matched those found on the truck used in Berlin, leaving them in no doubt their prime suspect was dead. Shortly afterwards, Islamic State released a video in which the 24-year-old pledged allegiance to its cause, raising the possibility he may have had help preparing the plot.
Authorities were already facing questions over their handling of Amri's case, and now they face another one. How did Europe's most wanted man travel by train through Germany, France and northern Italy without being detected?
In the hours after the attack, he was photographed leaving a Berlin mosque. In an effort to head off criticism, German Chancellor Angela Merkel promised faster deportation of rejected asylum seekers and extra measures to improve security. But at the Christmas market where Amri committed his deadly crime, the sense of relief at today's news was tinged with the knowledge others are likely to follow in his footsteps. Andrew Lund, 9 News.
Carrie Fisher, the actress who found fame as Princess Leia in Star Wars, has suffered a massive heart attack. The actress collapsed on a long-haul flight to Los Angeles, passengers and crew rushing to save her life.
Just as the United Airlines flight was about to descend into Los Angeles, Carrie Fisher collapsed.
United 935 Heavy, I need the nature of the medical emergency.
She'd been flying from London when the Star Wars star suffered a massive heart attack.
We have some passengers, nurses assisting the passenger. We have an unresponsive passenger. So they're working on it right now.
Passengers tweeting that Fisher had stopped breathing and they'd worked to keep her alive until they landed. Carrie Fisher was brought by road ambulance here to the UCLA Medical Centre, where she spent about 3 hours in intensive care. Then at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, reports that Fisher's condition had improved and that she was stable. Sadly, though, her brother tonight clarified, saying her condition is still unknown. The 60-year-old is best known for playing Princess Leia in Star Wars.
You came nothing? You're braver than I thought.
Her co-star Mark Hamill tweeting as if 2016 couldn't get any worse, sending all our love to Carrie Fisher. In Los Angeles, Laura Turner, 9 News.
Still in the US, and Donald Trump has doubled down on his threat to expand America's nuclear weapons capabilities. The US President-elect calling for an arms race and saying America will outmatch and outlast everyone. It came as Mr. Trump received a Christmas letter from Russian President Vladimir Putin, which called for both parties to work together in constructive ways. A friend of a Perth man charged over the Claremont serial killing says he's shocked by the allegations. Police are now focusing their investigation on properties linked to the accused murderer.
Forensic police scour a beach house south of Perth using UV light to search for clues inside the property owned by the accused killer's parents. As Bradley Robert Edwards spent his first night in prison charged over WA's most notorious murders, close mate Adrian Lefson was in disbelief.
He's got a lot of people that they're classing as friends, and I think they'll be all quite shocked at the moment.
The 48-year-old Telstra technician was arrested after a police raid at his home on Thursday and later charged with the murders of Jane Rimmer and Kira Glennon. Both young women taken late at night after socialising in Claremont in 1996 and 1997, their bodies dumped in bushland.
If you actually meet him, he's very genuine, very nice. It's like one of the nicest people I know.
It's alleged Bradley Edwards first struck when he was just 20 years old, breaking into a home in Perth's southern suburbs and indecently assaulting an 18-year-old woman back in 1988. At the time, police claimed this kimono was worn by the attacker and left at the scene.
It had been stolen from the backyard of another Huntingdale home earlier this year.
It's understood the gown was examined again as part of a continuing operation to retest evidence using new technology. The former Little Athletics volunteer is also accused of raping a 17-year-old girl at a cemetery 7 years later.
I still don't believe what's going on.
Estelle Lewis, 9 News.
2016 has had a heavy dose of war, terror and political upheaval, from the bloodshed in Syria, terror attacks in Nice and Germany, to Brexit and the election of Donald Trump. But as the year draws to a close, Christian leaders are reminding us the true meaning of Christmas in messages of love and peace.
I love this country.
They're the moments and memories of the past year that will stay with us for a lifetime. Some of the defining images as 2016 draws to a close. But with every ending comes the promise of a fresh start.
Christmas is a time for friendship, for love, for making amends. A time for looking forward to the new year.
Looking ahead instead of looking back. A common theme in this year's Christmas messages from our local religious leaders.
This Christmas, we need to receive God's love into our hearts, exchange selfishness for forgiveness, and breathe peace into a restless world.
From politics to personal life, what more do we want for Christmas than people who will tell us the truth? There is much in our world which is post-truth, but remember, at Christmas time, we celebrate the truth of Jesus.
Rejuvenation for the new year through reassurance and reflection.
May this Christmas be a season of true joy and happiness for you.
And may the Prince of Peace bring hope and joy to you all this Christmas.
Tim Davies, 9 News.
Well, after a day of chaos, the Christmas rush is officially over, with Sydney's biggest shopping centres now shut. The focus now turns to Boxing Day, when we're expected to spend record-breaking amounts of money.
When it comes to Christmas shopping, it doesn't get more last minute than this.
Today's fantastic. Christmas Eve's a good time to shop. Everybody should be done, but they're not. I want to just shop and wrap them.
For some, aiming to dodge the crowds in the dead of night during Westfield Parramatta's 36-hour marathon didn't quite go to plan.
1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, we've got thousands of shoppers spilling through the mall.
For others, the heart of Sydney on Christmas Eve was the only option.
Last minute, just get in and get out.
It's estimated 1 in 10 Aussies hit the shops today, spending more than $1.5 billion. Shoppers and retailers both taking advantage of the timing.
Saturdays typically are the biggest spending days before Christmas, and it seems to have really helped retailers.
If you thought these sales were impressive, just wait until Monday. Consumers are on track to drop $2.28 billion, the biggest Boxing Day spend in the nation's history. That's $100 million more than last year. And it's New South Wales shoppers tipped to do the most damage. The total spend for our state expected to top $741 million.
This Boxing Day is absolutely expected to be a standout for retailers, and it really just comes down to the fact that we've had a really good steady build during the months of October, November and December.
Righto, live now to Cassandra Wallace at David Jones in the city. Cass, the shops are shut, but it's now all about the big post-Christmas sales.
It is indeed, Ben. The clearance sales will begin on Boxing Day, and David Jones is gearing up for a massive day. They're actually gearing up for their biggest Boxing Day sale on record. Now, the clearance signs have gone up. Many products will actually be half price, and they're ready for those massive crowds which will come through the doors here at 5 o'clock on Monday morning. Now, of course, it's not just DJs. All retailers are gearing up, and a record 2 million shoppers are expected to flock to Westfield shopping centres all over the country, Ben.
Good on you, Cass. Thank you very much. Right in the thick of it. The Christmas spirit is alive and well in Sydney, with volunteers today finding a missing companion dog for a teen with Asperger's syndrome. Simba was found at Waterloo after roaming the streets for more than a week and will soon be home for an emotional reunion.
On Christmas Eve, this is one present money can't buy.
I didn't believe in Christmas miracles before this happened, but when they found my Simba, I actually started believing.
This lovable spoodle Simba looking a little worse for wear after 8 days missing in the busy streets around Sydney Airport. What makes him all the more special is he's a companion dog to best mate 14-year-old Brandon Boyd, who has Asperger's syndrome.
Brandon has a very close bond with Simba, and that close bond was in jeopardy. He was gutted, obviously.
Simba ran off as a freight worker tried to put him in his cage, while the family made the move north from Nowra, south of Sydney, to Queensland. A missing dog campaign was launched, volunteer Ben Campbell leading the charge, and this morning making the happy discovery. Ben Campbell came to this car park in Waterloo at around 4 a.m. after late-night sightings of Simba. It took him an hour and a half to coax the dishevelled dog from beyond this fence.
Ben managed to, I think, if I get the story correct, hide in a rubbish bin with a roast chicken, and Simba came out. He is the biggest man on earth for us right now.
Now that Simba's been fed, he's in the care of Brandon's auntie, who, to be sure there's no repeat of his escape, has him on 2 leads.
I'm personally going to put him on a flight once we can get one after Christmas period.
I feel like very excited that I have my dog back.
Michelle Tavaniti, 9 News.
On your Simba. Now for a look at today's weather with Belinda Russell. And Belinda, you better not have thunderstorms coming.
We sure do, Ben. We've got thunderstorms rolling in from the west this evening. A severe storm warning has been issued for Sydney. The Blue Mountains picking up 10 millimetres so far, and it's now hitting our outer west. It has been a warm day in our west, starting off at 18 degrees and hitting a top of 30 by 2 p.m. The city only dropping to 20 overnight and climbing to a top of 27 by midday. The severe thunderstorm warning stretches right across the eastern half of our state, so it could be a bumpy ride for Santa. I'll have your Christmas Day forecast later on.
Can't wait. Thanks, Belinda. In the news ahead, the hero off-duty firefighter who saved his elderly neighbour from her burning home. The letterbox thieves targeting Sydney families over Christmas. How to protect your house from identity theft. Hijack horror. Gunmen storm a plane and take more than 100 passengers hostage. And on the night before Christmas, we're live to David Campbell and Lisa Wilkinson at Carols by Candlelight. An off-duty firefighter has pulled his 93-year-old neighbour from her burning home at Saratoga on the Central Coast. The fire broke out in the early hours of this morning, and when Simon Anderson realised the elderly woman was still inside, he forced his way in to rescue her.
The lady was in the corner on the floor, and I just kept saying to her, I'm coming, stay down low, and that stage the whole bed was on fire.
What an effort. The 93-year-old suffered burns to her face and legs, was taken to Gosford Hospital in a critical condition. It's the last thing you need in the lead up to Christmas. Criminals snooping through your mail to steal your identity. Now, after a spate of these thefts across Sydney, there are calls to create a new security standard for mailboxes to keep the thieves away.
A tradie from Lilyfield, Tony Bazina, works hard, long hours, but a simple stolen letter saw him fleeced of thousands of dollars.
It's completely faceless. That's the scary part about it.
All the criminals needed was a phone bill and a bank statement from his letterbox.
Put them together and they've created a bit of an identity that they can use and, be able to get into accounts.
The crooks took over his mobile phone number, opened an online shopping account, an eBay account, even an account with a bank he's never used.
They were taking it for the full extent of fraud that they could go.
Mail thieves have been targeting suburbs across Sydney, hitting houses and apartment blocks, hoping to build profiles on homeowners.
There has been some organised crime elements where people will steal people's utility bills, identity, and then they'll basically harvest that information.
It's so much of a problem, Lord Mayor Clover Moore and the City of Sydney want new design standards for apartment mailboxes to make it harder to get into them.
Moving them into the unit foyers, making sure that the mailbox and the lock is secure.
It's not just criminals stealing your identity that's worrying police this Christmas, but people sending cash in cards through the mail. They say if you suspect that somebody has tampered with your letterbox, to contact police immediately.
Getting things that are very important sent to your mailbox is just a no-no.
Chris O'Keefe, 9 News.
2 men armed with a grenade and pistols have threatened to blow up a Libyan aircraft before forcing it to land in Malta. 118 passengers escaped the ordeal uninjured. The hijackers have been taken into custody. A horrible moment for a young boy in Utah left dangling off a ski lift while trying to get off. His backpack became stuck as the machine continued moving up a mountain. It stopped, the boy screaming as rescuers rushed to free him, which they eventually did using a ladder. The crowds are rolling in and the final touches are being made ahead of tonight's Vision Australia Carols by Candlelight. Hundreds of performers and backstage staff have been preparing for weeks for the event, which is raising money for children who are blind or visually impaired.
It's a stage spectacular that never grows old.
The same thing that makes you love Christmas every year. It's joyful, it's great music. We only sing this music once a year.
Last night's sold-out rehearsal proving the carols are as popular as ever, and the artists still get nervous.
Oh, I'm always terrified. I mean, there's never ever a time when I have done this gig where I've felt at ease.
Standing on this stage looking out at a sea of kids' faces holding candles and parents, mothers and fathers with their kids on Christmas Eve, that's a pleasure. Can't call that work.
Some of the special guests include beneficiaries of Vision Australia's services.
So it's really special for us to come to such an event with just all the beautiful support and atmosphere.
He's playing the little drummer boy now, aren't you? Yeah.
Planning starts around July, and some familiar faces are the first to sign up. This is the 79th year of this event, which showcases some of the country's best musical talent. It's also a great opportunity for the young performers on stage, almost 400 of them in the choirs and orchestras. Many give up their weekends in December to be here to help show off classics like this. Laura Spurway, 9 News.
Yeah, the crowds at Melbourne's Sydney Myer Music Bowl are warming up their carols' voices, and that's where we find David Campbell and Lisa Wilkinson, who are leading tonight's celebrations. Thanks for joining us, DC. And Lisa, what's in store tonight?
We're warming up.
I'm not singing. You're singing. You're opening the show.
I am opening the show, and that's a terrifying thought, but we have so many other singers as well as me tonight. Dami M's going to be here tonight, which
Singing
is fantastic.
All I Want for Christmas Is You, such a favourite.
She was amazing last night. The crowd absolutely loved her. Kate Sobrano singing with Gypsy, her daughter.
With her daughter, Gypsy, 12 years of age, never sung in public before. That's going to be a huge moment. We've got Old 55 reforming, 40th anniversary this year, singing Rocking Christmas. We've got the brand new High Five, first performance ever.
I think they may be bringing Santa with them, and of course, all of our carols favourites, David Hobson, Marina Pryor, Sylvie Palladino, Anthony Kalia, the list goes on, but it's going to be a huge night, Fordo.
Just give me one more voice check as we go to break.
Me.
That'll do. Don't miss it. Ahead in 9 News, we've got plenty more to come, like a scene from an action movie. See a father's life-saving acrobatic moves. And Santa Claus is coming to town. We track the big man's journey from the North Pole.
In sport, Australia considers a Boxing Day debutant as David Warner looks to bury his MCG demons. Plus, Paul Gallen calls out Sonny Bill Williams after his brutal knockout at Shark Park.
Suzuki's 2016 plate clearance is on. Save $1,000 on Swift GL from $14,990 drive away. And all new Belinda with multimedia sat-nav and Apple CarPlay from $16,990 drive away. Suzuki's 2016 plate clearance on now.
With bowlers expected to toil hard on a batsman-friendly MCG pitch, all-rounder Hilton Cartwright is firming to make his Test debut on Boxing Day. David Warner will be hoping to cash in on the flat wicket after battling for runs in previous matches in Melbourne.
2 days out from Boxing Day, this was not the session Josh Hazlewood had in mind. Our cricketers doing their bit to spread some festive cheer outside the MCG. before a surprise arrival from Santa.
I'm not sure if I'm on the good or naughty list, so I'm hoping I'm on the good one.
While the likes of Matt Renshaw detailed their Christmas wish list, David Warner also revealed his as he tries to arrest his struggles in Melbourne.
If you've got the answers, you can tell me.
The opener averages just 24.2 from 5 tests at the MCG and in recent times has scored more freely at one-day level. But on both counts, he's confident that will change.
At the moment, I'm just hitting him well enough in the nets and not making him in the middle. But the tide will change. Many players before have experienced the same thing. I just got to keep a level head.
Almost a week since the finish of the first test in Brisbane, Hazelwood, Mitch Stark and Jackson Bird all trained for the first time. The pace trio putting to bed any doubts over their fitness.
We've had a couple of days off where we've had a bit of rest and. Yeah, we had a high workload in that last innings in Brisbane, but that's what happens in the game sometimes, so we're all fit and ready to go.
While the pitch itself might still have a tinge of greenness by Monday, it's again expected to play well for the batsman, which could spell trouble for Nick Maddenson's hopes of keeping his spot at number 6. With selectors still pondering the makeup of their final 11, Hilton Cartwright could yet make his debut in a bid to lighten bowler workloads.
He looks a good player. He's obviously scored some runs and he's good with the ball. So, if he gets his chance, I'm sure he'll go out there and give his 100% as well.
Ayrton Woolley, 9 News.
The Hobart Hurricanes were too good for the Sydney Sixers with a comprehensive 60-run win at the SCG last night, thanks to an impressive 61 off just 29 balls by Darcy Short. Mitchell Johnson was destructive in his Big Bash debut, snaring 3 for 33 to help the Perth Scorchers to a 48-run win over the Adelaide Strikers at the Wacker. Perpetual loyal skipper Anthony Bell is confident of causing a major upset in this year's Sydney to Hobart. Usually noted for attracting celebrity crew members, Bell is taking a much more competitive approach in 2016, calling on the best sailors from around the world.
This is what Anthony Bell has been trying to avoid. Normally one to drum up plenty of publicity for the Loyal Foundation, this year he's only been focused on winning.
It's just been more like tradesmen and getting ready for the job. We deserve our tag as underdogs, and but the other thing too is we're probably best prepared that we have been in the last 3 outings.
Bell and his crew were early frontrunners in 2015 before cracking their hole in rough conditions. That missed opportunity still burns.
We lost a bit of credibility last year with the breakdown, and it was important for the brand, the charity and everything around it that we sort of try and restore that. And the best shot at restoring that is to bring the best people on the planet together for it.
Those people are the crew from last year's winner Comanche. With the American super yacht not defending its line honours title, Bell poached its best sailors to guide Loyal.
They've done a lot of sea miles together, so that's the first part. But the second thing they do is they bring a lot of IP and knowledge.
Bell originally considered selling his Super Maxi at the beginning of the year, but the desire for one last Blue Water Classic was too strong.
I feel justified in coming back because we didn't get to Hobart, so we got a bit of unfinished business to complete. Take a rest at the end of it, mate, and see where it goes.
Loyal will have to upset 8-time champion Wild Oats 11, which is out to eclipse its own race record.
These big boats are capable of averaging 30 knots, mate, so you can chew the miles up very quickly if the conditions are right. And there's a good chance that could happen down the east coast of Tasmania, so we'll see what happens.
Jake Duke, 9 News.
Paul Gallen has called out Sonny Bill Williams after an impressive victory in the ring over Ryan Carketu at Shark Park. The Cronulla skipper knocking the Queenslander out with a brutal blow in the 4th round. Gallen's now hoping to take on cross-code star Williams at the end of next year, saying everyone wants to see it happen. The Wanderers have played out a 1-1 draw with Brisbane Roar, leaving them with just 2 wins this season. To make matters worse, star striker Brendan Santalab will miss at least 1 match. He was sent off for a clash with Brisbane's Jade North. And Sydney FC players believe the re-signing of coach Graham Arnold will help the club dominate the A-League for years to come.
He knows when to have a laugh with the boys and knows when it's time to work and be serious, and I think that's unique in a manager, that someone's a great man manager but also very, very good tactically as well.
The undefeated Sky Blues face last place Adelaide on Boxing Day. A very busy time of year in sport, Ben. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Julie. Thank you very much. In the news ahead, torched in the middle of the night, the arson attack that destroyed 2 cars in Sydney South. This heart-stopping moment, a car ploughs towards 2 children and the ninja dad who saved their lives. And could it be love for Taronga Zoo's most popular bachelor penguin? Welcome back. 2 cars have been severely damaged following a suspected arson attack in the city south. Police believe the vehicles were deliberately torched at around 11 p.m. in Janali. Paramedics were sent to the scene. That was as a precaution. Nobody was hurt. A driver is assisting police after 3 cyclists were hit by a car trailer at Helensburgh on the southern outskirts of Sydney. One man, aged in his 40s, was taken to Sutherland Hospital in a stable condition after the accident on the Old Princess Highway. The 2 other cyclists were treated for minor injuries. For most, the holidays are spent with loved ones, but tomorrow, spare a thought for the thousands of Australian troops deployed overseas. For some, it's their first Christmas away from home, and to keep spirits high, commanders have organised a few Aussie traditions.
Yuletide and merriment in the Middle East, and where Corporal Samantha Elvin and aircraft woman Amy McIlveen will wake up tomorrow morning. 10,000 kilometres from home, it's hot and dry, just like a traditional Christmas down under.
It's something a bit different, and yeah, I do have a lot of friends over here.
I plan on waking up over here, opening my stocking that my mum sent me over.
That stocking, one of thousands, packaged with love and delivered by a C-130 Hercules.
Mum said it's a stocking full of fun stuff, but I've actually asked her to send me over some coffee pods, so hopefully they're on their way and arrive before Christmas.
Hopefully I get a jar of scorched almonds.
While it's a normal work day at Australia's Air Force Base supporting surveillance and transport aircraft in the fight against IS, there will be a barbecue breakfast, ham and prawns at lunch, and of course, cricket.
So it would be good to get a little game going. I'm not very good at it.
For those who indulge in too much pudding, some light exercise will keep them in shape.
We'll get the Aussie Rules football out and have a kick of that, just things that remind us of home.
There are 2,300 ADF personnel deployed around the world in the company of their mates, but away from their families and friends, all with a special message.
To my wife Sarah, kids Aiden, Kate and Liam, I hope you have a great Christmas. This is a different one for us.
Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for your support while I've been away. I can't wait to see you all. Love you all so much.
Lauren Giannoli, 9 News.
It's been more than 100 years since a royal family ruled Germany, but that hasn't stopped the country spending almost $1 billion to rebuild Berlin's Imperial Palace after it was damaged, then demolished following World War II.
It's not just the precariously placed Christmas tree that makes this a construction site unlike any other. Berlin is rebuilding its Imperial Palace. The Baroque facade painstakingly reconstructed from the ground up, piece by piece.
There were no original plans left by the war, so we were lucky that we had these special photographs.
Known as the Stadtschloss, it was built as a palace for the King of Prussia in the early 18th century. Damaged during World War II, it was demolished by the East German government, who used the site to build the country's new parliament. Not long after the Berlin Wall came down, so too did the communist building. But what to do with the site proved controversial.
We decided, after a discussion of 20 years, we decided to reconstruct the palace as the urban point of view in the middle of the town.
Private donors raised more than $110 million to fund the facade, with the German government spending another $750 million on the building itself.
Unlike the original, this will be a palace for the people, and when it opens, it's expected more than 3 million will visit every year.
Inside, it will be ultra-modern as the new home for many of the city's art and cultural collections.
We will have here like 2 big museums, the Ethnological Museum and the Museum for Asiatic Art, as well as a big exhibition about Berlin and the connections to the world.
But the facade won't be the only nod to the past.
It was a very political or is a very political place, and we want to make it transparent.
Construction is due to finish in 2018, with 600 people working to mend Berlin's scarred cityscape. The king may be dead, but the palace will live on. In Berlin, Andrew Lund, 9 News.
A quick-thinking dad has saved the lives of his 2 children in Indonesia, pulling them out of the path of a speeding car with a backflip. It happened in mere seconds. The man was fixing a motorbike when he saw the vehicle coming towards the children. His moves have been likened to those of Hollywood action star Jackie Chan. You're going to love this. Love could be in the air for one of Taronga Zoo's most popular residents. For almost a decade, Mr Munro, a rare crested penguin, has been living at the park as a bachelor. Now he has a new lady in his life, just in time for Christmas, and everyone is excited.
He said, son, you are a bachelor boy. Fluffing his feathers and puffing out his chest, could this be the look of love? Mr Munro, a Fiordland crested penguin, has been going it alone since arriving at Taronga Zoo almost 10 years ago. But now, his solo days are done.
Mo! Hello!
Meet Meraki, Munro's new female flatmate. Blind in one eye and suffering an injured flipper, Meraki was discovered malnourished and a little lost in Tasmania, more than 1,500 kilometres from where the rare Fiordland penguin species calls home on New Zealand's South Island. Despite rehabilitation, her injuries meant she couldn't be released back into the wild, so Taronga took her in.
Within minutes, when she first arrived, he was accompanying her around the exhibit and showing him his burrow and all those kind of really nice traits that suggest that he's warming to her company.
With a little extra pep in his waddled step, Munro's happy feet have everyone wondering if these two could be more than just friends.
We've got a couple of years to wait there in terms of if there was any sort of long-term prospects in that area. Mates and then dates.
While breeding is not the focus now, companionship is.
It's quite clear that the company of their same species, they will do better in that company.
As Meraki continues to settle into her new home here, keepers are thrilled at how quickly these two have become comfortable with each other. Their newfound friendship promising to thrill the more than 1.5 million people that flood through Taronga's gates each and every year.
As for Meraki, she might be vision impaired.
Where's your boyfriend?
There's certainly no sign that love is blind as well. Tim Davies, 9 News.
Sweet. In the news ahead, getting ready for Christmas. We'll tell you what's open tomorrow and how to get around. And we go in search of Santa, who is on his way down under in a sleigh packed full of presents. Now to our top stories this Christmas Eve. A 3-year-old girl is in a critical condition after becoming locked in a car for several hours at Glenwood in Sydney's northwest. A manhunt continues after families witness a suspected gangland murder at Wetherill Park. And major retail centres have now closed after a day of last-minute Christmas shopping. Well, Christmas is always a busy day with families on the move, so if you're planning to attend a religious service or catch up with loved ones, here's some information to make your day a little easier. For church services in the CBD, St Mary's will be hosting midnight mass. Services will commence tomorrow at 7 a.m. The first mass at St Andrews will be held at 8 tomorrow morning. Heading west, St John's and St Patrick's will also begin mass at 8. If you're planning on taking public transport to lunch, services will be limited on all trains, buses and ferries. Probably best to check your local timetable. And if you run out of things to do with the kids, some event cinemas will be open from 4, while select Hoyts theatres will be showing movies from 3. Taronga Zoo is also open all day tomorrow. There is a touch of magic in the air tonight on what is one of the most exciting evenings on the calendar. And we can tell you, Santa Claus has started his journey around the world alongside those trusty reindeers and a sack full of presents.
It is a little-known Santa fact that despite living at the North Pole, hundreds of people every year journey to the Arctic Circle to farewell the big man on Christmas Eve. And so it was tonight. Crowds waving Santa goodbye as he headed to the Secret Santa stable to saddle up the rest of the reindeer, Australia being Santa's first big stop. Our air traffic controllers ready to give him clean air.
So on Christmas Eve, Santa does take priority.
The sleigh is carrying brand new tracking technology, registering Santa's aerial whereabouts twice every second.
You need to keep those reindeers nice and fresh for the long trip ahead. And we also are using a continuous descent approach, which means that we're just reducing some sleigh noise from Santa's sleigh so we don't wake up the boys and girls.
For pilots rostered on Christmas Eve, it's always a thrill to see if they will spot him.
On Christmas Eve, when we see a bright and special light in the sky, we know it's Santa.
As Christmas elves hurried to gather last-minute presents, Santa's own air traffic control began liaising with their counterparts around the world. His call sign, Sleigh Rider 1.
Preparations are not only underway at the North Pole, but also in millions of homes around Australia.
I leave them out cookies and milk. Milk and cookies. Cookies and milk.
Gee, Santa's going to be putting on some weight this trip. And in the back of the sleigh are the wishes of every good boy and girl.
A new bike.
You been good enough?
I have no idea, but if I had to say so myself, I've been pretty good. Cool glasses, a cool watch, and also...
Is it cool?
Yeah. I want a horse, but I know it's very unlikely. So...
A horse?
Yeah. So
it is very unlikely.
Yeah, so maybe a laptop. A remote control car.
A remote control car? Awesome! Oh, you've obviously been good. It is the most wonderful time of the year, so...
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you all. Mike Dalton, 9 News.
Well done, Daltz. Coming up, Belinda, with your Christmas weather forecast.
Thanks, Ben. Right now it's 22 degrees in the city and 24 in our west, with those storms still rolling in. A severe thunderstorm warning still in place for much of our state. So will the skies clear in time for Christmas? A full forecast is next.
R32, now available in Dakin ducted systems. A next-generation refrigerant with a substantially lower impact on the environment. Ensure your next ducted system is a Dakin for pure comfort. Dakin.
Hello again. Sydney woke up to a sunny morning with the clouds rolling in this afternoon. A warm day for the city, hitting a top of 27. Some of our western suburbs hit the 30s. Richmond, the hottest, with 32 degrees. And following that heat, we've seen storms sparking up this afternoon. Richmond picking up 4 millimetres so far. It's all part of a much bigger system, a line of storms stretching right from the Victorian border up to Armidale, the Ranges and Tablelands, copping the worst of it, with 400,000 lightning strikes recorded already. The heaviest falls over the southern Tablelands and the ACT, 31 millimetres recorded at Goulburn and 21 in Canberra. And we could see some more stormy weather tomorrow thanks to a low pressure trough, a high pressure directing warm, humid air over most of New South Wales. Around the country tomorrow, a warm and sunny Christmas day for Brisbane, 31 and a shower or storm in Canberra, hot and sunny for Melbourne and a scorcher ahead for Adelaide, soaring to 40 degrees. Let's take a closer look at New South Wales and another hot day for inland parts. The chance of more showers or thunderstorms across northern and central parts. Partly cloudy and mostly fine along the coast, but it will be gusty down south with a warning for strong winds around Bateman's Bay and Eden. Sydney is in for a Christmas treat. A few clouds about in the morning, but plenty of sunshine to brighten our day. The afternoon looking like an absolute cracker. Blue skies and warm too. The city heading for a top of 27 degrees. Our western suburbs can also look forward to lots of sunshine and a few degrees hotter than today, a top of 33 degrees in Penrith. There is a chance of a shower and a possible thunderstorm in our outer west in the afternoon or early evening. Things will then heat up on Boxing Day, a top of 30 degrees for the city under sunny skies. The warm and sunny weather hanging around until Thursday. Our western suburbs will swelter on Boxing Day up to 36 degrees, 36 on Tuesday as well, with a possible shower or storm and a scorcher coming up on Thursday, reaching 41 degrees. So Santa has delivered this year a warm and sunny Christmas. My Christmas gift to you, Ben.
You've nailed it, Belinda. Well done. Thank you. And that is 9 News for this Saturday. From everyone here at Channel 9, have a very Merry Christmas. And on behalf of Belinda and Julie, thanks for having us. I'm Ben Fordham. Merry Christmas. Good night.